Can you share who you are and what you do, Paul?
Yeah, so I'm Paul Drake. I am a commercial director and consultant at Sapere Software, and my role is predominantly to bring in new business and also to consult on all things digital, so helping organizations and businesses understand what they need to do to become more efficient using digital and the whole transformation piece around implementing those recommendations, whether that's from a workflow driven piece of software or a completely new piece of software that's going to help them productize their service or solution. And that's what I do.
Can you tell us a bit about what off-the-shelf software is?
So off-the-shelf software is what it says on the tin, really. It's you using a piece of software that exists. Imagine you went to the supermarket and you took it off the shelf and took it home and used it. It's a very similar principle. In the digital world, you find a piece of software, you install it or sign up to a license agreement. And on the whole, it's probably through a web browser now. So you sign up to a user agreement, pay some money, and then you use the software within the bounds of a web browser to use the software that's been created for that purpose. An excellent example is an accounting package, the likes of Xero, ClearBooks, Sage to a certain extent. It is built to allow people like us to use it within the confines of a web browser. So you're not installing specific software on a machine like you would traditionally. So that's my take on off-the-shelf software, as confusing as that may be.
What would you say are the three main advantages of using off-the-shelf software?
So the first advantage of using off-the-shelf software is the cost. It's generally cheaper than building your own. Well, it is always cheaper than building your own because it exists for that reason. The speed of implementation, because it exists, there's lots of functionality that already exists. It's almost a plug and play approach. You know, you sign up to use a license, you do a bit of configuration, and away you go. And the third one benefit is probably the integration capabilities of the things, depending on what it is that you're buying. A good example of that would be WordPress. There's thousands of plugins you can use, you buy, or some instances they're free to help add on additional functionality to the platform.
And when might off-the-shelf software not be the right solution for a business?
Yeah, so when off-the-shelf software doesn't always meet the needs of the businesses, when they've got specific workflow driven processes that are a bit more complicated than the average, which happens in quite a lot of businesses. That's when the wheels start to come off the brilliant off-the-shelf solutions. You need something that's a bit more specific. Now, whether that's a bespoke solution or a hybrid solution whereby that functionality is taking place outside of the off-the-shelf solution. But that's when it becomes tricky, when there's much more functionality going on within the business, workflow.
Would you say more businesses are using off-the-shelf solutions since the pandemic hit?
Yes, since the pandemic, I think lots more businesses use off-the-shelf platforms because they've had to work remotely from home. They've kind of been forced into using these things, and I think once you start to use them, you realize that it's not scary as you once thought it was, and you tend to embrace more of these things. Again, going back to the accounting packages, rather than having something that sits on a desktop in an office on a server. If you go to a cloud-based version, you can use it anywhere in the world, and anyone can use it, assuming they've got access. So it makes it much more easy to do these jobs remotely. So I think the adoption has been greater as a result of people not being able to go to the office.